All right, folks, we're back on a Thursday. Man, it is flying today already here. Past 12:30. What's going on? Chat, settle in. We've got a very interesting session to get to. I'll dive into NASDAQ in a little bit. I think we got to talk about the obvious bigger situation. Bitcoin right at 100K. Not quite total dump stream, but I don't think anybody wanted to see it down here. But we're not surprised, right? So we need to really get into possibilities of what can happen. I think this week might be one of the most pivotal weeks of the year, and certainly how we wrap up by Sunday going to tell us whether we triggered it or not. So jump on in, guys. Come on in, hit the like, subscribe. If you enjoy what's going on here, we're here Tuesday, Thursday, 12:30-ish, talking harmonic patterns, because that's what I do. That's what I've been doing it most of my adult life. And so how do I do it, or how should you do it? Get over to harmonictrader.com. Okay, we got a Black Friday special, already doing it. Now's the time, folks. Get the 30% off. We do it once a year for Black Friday. This is the time to renew, get the program, purchase the software, and then, you're good to go, because it's an educational tool first and foremost, but strategical, analytical platform that's going to pinpoint opportunities like the situation we're currently dealing with here on Bitcoin with this big type 2 that literally just hit as we speak. So let's dive deep into this structure, this butterfly pattern. This has been what we've been targeting for, I don't know, a week or more, with lower levels to consider, but we have to kind of break it down, stick on the 4 hour time frame until further notice. We're right on the edge. Absolutely. Is the cycle over? We'll get into it. We will get into it. I'm going to highlight what are the triggers that are going to be the end of the cycle for me. And what does that mean, even? Bitcoin, okay, 100K now, 25K off the top. What's that? 23, 20, almost 25%. And what would a retrace, full retrace, really entail? Don't mean to FUD it up the space, but guys, this is when we respect framework, we respect the pattern levels, price action, type 1, type 2. Market goes up to go down. It's just, you got to realize it's never straight up. And in light of even all of the narrative and influencers out there that want to talk everything but levels and price action, eventually they're going to have to deal with measuring the market. We do it with harmonic patterns. Whatever works for you, I encourage you. But for everyone else, listen, just get started over at harmonictrader.com. Okay? And it's all here, all the free information. As a basic member, register now. Also, I'll put this in the chat, but everybody can get a free 30-day, 2-week trial. Send your HPC, send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Did want to mention that we've got the other platforms, but I really think TradingView has all the bells and whistles. Okay, Ninja's excellent, MetaTrader, eSignal, Sierra Chart, but TradingView's got both the platform of the desktop and on your phone, and it's all seamless. So check that out. Also, everybody, the new feature that we have, I have released it to existing members and anybody that purchased the program during the special, the Pattern Profiler. That is our new statistical analysis tool. And it looks like this. Pattern Profiler right there. This is only the starting point, but it will be doing advanced statistical analysis on all pattern matches with an entire array of stats, basically to pinpoint best situations, what should we be looking at, how to refine this going forward. I'm always trying to make this better, always. So that's the intro. How you guys doing today? Welcome. Come on in, everybody. Settle in. Welcome to maybe not a total dump stream, but I think a reality check. That's what we talked about on Tuesday. And we'll look at, I don't know, if you guys have some crypto you want to look at, let's get it out now. I really want to focus on planting a couple of ideas in your brain, especially if you're not new to harmonic patterns, you want to learn more, and you want to have a clue of direction. Where's Bitcoin going in the next 10,000 bucks, up or down? Right now, we're still down. We'll get into what the longer term picture has to kind of spell out for us before we can look for anything significant. This is how it's been going for the last month, and just let's dig in, okay? Chat, great to see everybody. What's up? What's going on, CG? You got it? Always. Floyd, Julian, incredible, feral analysis. You're new. What's going on, man? Yeah, it does look, I know, and now everyone wants to look like, everyone's now looking like it's going to fall off a cliff. Let's talk kind of quick update. What happened since Tuesday? What's happening now? It's only down 1,600, but kind of feels ominous for sure. Psychologically, yeah, 100K is a big number for everybody but us. And I think we got to talk framework and what the framework, harmonic pattern framework, is really dictating immediately. Right now, as of literally the last 5 minutes ago, we did tag the anticipated type 2 return, meaning we've been looking for that creature for a week or more. And I've been posting a little bit more on X. Um, I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of burned out on the whole thing. I think everything, the way everything has been, it's for me, and I I don't know, guys. I've had a hell of a morning so far, but for me, I think it's critical that we pace ourselves, maintain a degree of reality. Every like 1,000 point up, you see the crypto Twitter go crazy, and then everyone's like, "This is it, money printer's going on." But what do the levels say? So we're here, 4 hour chart. This is your big zone, and it's literally 100K. It's a Binance feed, and that's pretty consistent across the board, all the way down to the HOP, Harmonic Optimal Price level. Should get us as low as 98,116 now. Quick note, NASDAQ is dropping to new lows of the day, off 470. We'll get to that in a second. This is the digestion, pay for the 1618 retracement that I've been talking about for the last month. And I think, we clip another couple hundred points lower, people are going to realize that that's really the change. It's been super strong right up until October. And now what? Great to see you guys. Come on in, everybody. We're making our way there and getting in there right now. Let folks kind of pile in here. Great to see everybody. What are you guys looking at? Yeah, not surprised, but just disappointed. I hear you, Mr. Analysis. Awesome. What's up, Amit? How you guys doing? Come on in. And I think we got to shift the brain perspective into the framework where we understand that one, harmonic patterns are excellent starting points, structural starting points that encompass multiple legs, give us defined levels, an expectation, if you will, for reaction, reversal, initial type 1 move, all the way back for the 2. And what we have currently at the moment is something that I still think needs confirmation. So dip down a little bit lower. Here on the, okay, I'll get to this in a second. Something I came across. I'll get to this in a little bit of other harmonic pattern software, but we'll do that later. Harmonic Pattern Collection, guys, is the official harmonic pattern software. I created the harmonic patterns. If you didn't know, there are many copycat programs. Please avoid them all. They are worthless. Okay, don't even get harmonic patterns correct. And then the whole thing of the pattern itself. I created the methodology. The patterns are a starting point. You need confirmation. Okay, you need an understanding of framework to fully execute this knowledge, this information accurately. Otherwise, most of these other programs, if not all of them, are generating garbage. So I'll this is all leading up to some things that are happening with TradingView in the coming weeks and month or so that I'm looking to expand and tie with them. So interesting stuff, but in my discovery of what's really going on TradingView, came across a lot of disappointing offerings that I'm having to deal with. Regardless, 4 hour chart, Bitcoin, 100K. It's a number. It's just a number. And we would need the confirmation down here at 98K. Our primary indicator, Harmonic Strength Index, which is this right here, a really simplified way to look at your chart and say, guys, is the price up or down? Are we looking up or down? And right now, you have to go with the whole directional move, HSI. Not only has it rolled over, but it rolled over at the 50 level. That's going to require a lot more work before we can assume a turnaround. So let's just get in front of this now before we do something more severe and then people are like, what the heck happened? Bitcoin hitting some oversold levels on our what I call amplified RSI, relative strength, Wells Wilder's original formula, fantastic. One of the breakthrough indicators of all time. I have taken that, modified the formula to come up with what I call amplified, meaning magnified readings that give us more precise overbought, oversold signals. Right now, we're clipping oversold, but we know what has to happen. You need to finish this complete bar. You are 2 hours before we even consider that hitting oversold. So it's going to be an interesting hour or so. Let's dive in. Uh, the longer term objective on Bitcoin, guys, that the signals, what's going to cap this? What's going to really define the end of the cycle for me? And we're not there yet. As you guys know, I did a poll over the weekend and we were at 105 or 103 and I said, are we going to we're going to hit 93k or 113k? And more than half were saying that they thought we'd get back to 113. I mentioned I was in the 93 camp, and I still am in the 93 camp. And again, this can still be within the entire weekly channel of what of what has transpired over the last 2 or 3 years. But there's other things that are different now. Okay, so there's daily. Daily, nothing here is even close to being oversold. Weekly is the big one for me that I've been kind of knocking on this theme since the beginning of October with the big flash crash. And it has basically fallen off that cliff where we have not had any real constructive bullish response. If anything, it's about as bearish of a scenario since that breakdown you could imagine. And we're 6 weeks since that initial fall. So where does it go? Okay, because I did say that with that breakdown, if we were going to be bullish, we would need to see some oversold signals. And we're still not producing any of that. Hold on. There we go. We would need to see oversold like we had in March, April, and you go back last September, August time frame. I need something like that. We're nowhere near there. Now, the signal for me, the absolute end all be all that I've been going through a lot of charts, a lot of Bitcoin history, going through the Bitcoin ETFs. What's going to be it? Okay, because still technically, a lot of people are arguing, hey, we're still in this kind of regression channel. We're just testing the lower end. We're going to bounce off of that, and then we'll be fine. Fed's going to start printing really soon. Go back to QE. Not until we get the signals. And this is where I employ traders, crypto spot holders and hodlers. Use the signals. Define your framework in terms of being oversold, overbought, back to oversold again. Okay, and until we get that signal, no thanks. We got to just let this do its thing. This is part of the longer term marathon approach to following the Bitcoin market, not just kind of slamming into positions using what I like to call educated strategic assessments and being patient until they materialize. Here, we're just at the low end of a channel. Remember, all the way back down here, September 22. That was a big oversold signal, but we really didn't get going until we had that higher level. And that was the real starting point, in my opinion, which was even though we had a major bottom back here in 22, this bull market, really didn't start until then. And now we technically, if we're going to follow those cycles that everyone has talked about, we're at the end of this, just in terms of cycle dates. The big thing for me, guys, really, I want to see the monthly charts. And let's go through this because check out. Software started kicking this out a while ago. And it is a part of our 1618, 1902 theory that this was a bad candle wick. I'm going to get back to this here. That this was kicked up. I don't know what that candle wick was. The other markets don't have it, but I'll use this as kind of a hypothetical framework, okay? Because it really is about the 1618. It on all these other feeds, crypto exchanges, we don't have a crab pattern. This didn't happen. I don't know what that was on Binance, but I'll use it basically to prove my point that if this is a 1618 1902 extension, which has been the primary metric that we have been looking at all along, that 1618, I've been talking 1025, 111 area, it has been our minimum objective, and we've been looking for an extreme expansion that did not take. Wouldn't take until we get really above 125. But for now, all bets are off. They're just off. Let me show you the difference. That was Binance on a monthly. You don't see it here on like crypto.com or where's Bitfinex. Yeah, I'm showing you exactly where I'm going to get to here in a minute if and when. But Bitstamp. Let me get where's Coinbase. Great. Coinbase. I'm feeling a little bit better about Coinbase after my morning panic situation. But let's look at it this way, guys. This is our monthly bull market. Okay, we haven't really clipped it. We haven't cleared this channel yet on the monthly. And the price action, what happens next month, I do think is going to be critical to whether or not this channel is going to bust. More important than that, I want everybody to be, especially folks that already have the software. If you don't have the software, now's the time to at least get the trial. Follow what I'm about to show you, what my harmonic argument is for the end of the cycle, and what does that mean? Typically, I'm usually going to look for HSI and a combo indicator, that's this one and that one, to be sub 50, meaning we start to break down on the indicator here. Okay. One reading is not a signal, but the fact that we have not been able to make progress back up, we've rolled over, has been kind of become increasingly important. This is the big deal. So I want to just kind of highlight this for everybody. If you have the software, please take note. If you want to get the software, you know what to do. Send your username to hpc@sr-analyst. And then I'm going to just look at the indicator chart. This is just a relative strength metric. I'm a big believer in analyzing relative strength. It's probably the best tool because essentially what you're doing is you're analyzing what's happening now versus a certain time period prior and adjusting and analyzing that change. This is the biggest kind of technical event that we all should be looking at. We're not at the 50 limit yet on amplified RSI. We're getting there, but as soon as we touch the 50, we need to start looking. If it's going to be by the end of the month or next month, either way, it's a big deal. Okay. The first time it hits, kind of eyes up, confirmation on. And let me kind of show you the last few times. On the bearish side, let me 2000. I need a better. How about a longer term? Let me get a longer term chart. There's the index chart. That's good. It's going to get me all the way back. Okay. The breakdowns, cycle wise. This is the all time history chart. Okay. Take note of these events. Okay. There. We go back all the way to 2000, September 2011. One instance. Okay. August 14, 2014. There you go again. June 18. Then we'll come back November 21. There. All right. This is not breaking down. We need to come from the overbought extreme, then down. And then I'm gonna link this up with the price charts to show you guys how we're going to assess that. If this happens, I want everyone to be on notice. Okay, doesn't look like a lot, but if we crack this 50 this month, even next month, it's going to be a really big deal to set in on a monthly basis a follow through kind of breakdown sub 50. We're already there on the other indicators. The patterns, we know we're coming off of the big 1618, 1902 range. We did not reach the 3618. Didn't even come close to a 2618. But that's fine. That's all right. Because I know once we clip this 50 level, it will set into motion, okay, a follow through move. So let's highlight the prior examples. We get here, November, December. We have everything else, sub 50, sub 50. Come on back here, okay? In the 2021 example, both of those indicators, they had cracked it June. But then the first time we kissed sub 50 on amplified, okay, that took us into January 22. Doesn't look like much now, but I'm telling you, from 40 down to 16K, people were jumping out of windows. What does it mean? From a overbought, oversold technical perspective, okay, these events would require us to just be patient and let the whole thing retrace, and we wouldn't even consider a long until we had oversold green arrow up on amplified, okay, and conversely back above the 50 level. We would go into it, not terribly nasty, but it would be kind of an unavoidable retracement phase on the monthly chart that even if it took 5-10 months, it's going to be a long time and a kind of an arduous battle to get oversold. The other two examples that I was getting back, not as severe when we go to 18, but which was, here you go, there's amplified. What was that? That was like June 18. The point was, in every case, okay, these did not trigger a renewal rebound phase until we were officially oversold, and then we saw these monthly charts turn up across the 50 like here and here. So for me, looking at it, breaking it down, my perspective is entirely technical, looking at the metrics, looking at harmonic patterns. I haven't even talked levels yet, but that's what I'm looking for. Monthly HSI, sub 50. Yes, combo, yes, sub 50, although we only really need HSI and our amplified RSI. Amplified RSI is going to be the acceleration point. What have we seen in these kind of retracements? What are the high to low cycle moves? Every time we've seen at least 618 retracements off this cycle, the prior cycle low. and go from dot to dot. We go here and then the retrace. What was the last one? It was almost a perfect 786. The low was sub 16K. 786 was 18K. Okay, but by, what was that, by 45K or so? 40K breakdown, you knew that second leg was coming. I've been kind of souring on this monthly and weekly development for the last month, as you guys know. I was one of the most bullish people out there until about a month ago after that cracking breakdown. And now we just have to really see if we're going to get this signal now or maybe in a month or two. But we know what to look for. Okay. And if we're going to get that kind of retrace cycle, you go off the last few times, instances. I mean, we can even go to when we were trading in the hundreds. It's, not as severe in terms of price, but proportionally, yeah, it matters. Monthly, there's your dot. Okay, that was the 16, the 15 to 18 cycle. Another, well, there was your 786. Did that not quite 886, but the 786 is going to be a good number. That would be the number I'm going to be thinking about. If we get the trigger of this breakdown, I'll be looking for 786. We could go all the way back. Here you go. That last cycle, really the first cycle here, okay, of that breakdown. We got to increase the magnification, but you see the same proportional properties, relationships. Okay, market doesn't repeat, it rhymes. Well, here you go. High to low. We don't have, I wish we had 30 bars, 30 instances where we could, say, all right, statistically, let's test it. But empirically, we can look at every cycle. They have repeated, okay? They have rhymed, better way to say, where we have some kind of extreme expansion and then a 786 retrace. So, not to FUD you guys on a Thursday, but I just want to be in front of all of this, well in front. Okay, I shifted my tone after that big kind of flash crash breakdown thing. But now we have to look at what are the follow through consequences. I want to, before I do this measurement, I want to just be clear. I'm putting up possibilities. I'm just want to construct kind of possible scenarios of what could happen in that instance. All time 786 off the last cycle, okay, would get you to like that. Should I even say the number? Don't want to, but let's see what happens. Okay, it is around 40. I'm not saying it's 40. I'm just saying if we have another cycle retrace, be prepared for something deeper to happen. I'm going to take it in chunks. I'm going to show you what those chunks are. A minimum monthly retrace, just so we know, it's like this. Off that high to low, we always look at a 382. And even a minimum 382 all time gets us to like 84. That's what's at stake, guys. I'm here to give you my best. Bring my harmonic pattern, knowledge, experience, framework, share it with you, highlight the most critical relationships so that you guys can do this yourself. I mean, get the software. It's going to spit out the signals, the overbought, oversold areas. But on this monthly chart, I already see it. I've been seeing it for the last several weeks. Getting kind of that grittier tone in my voice of just like, here we go. Okay. I did go walk through some of this last time. What I want to focus on now, 4-hour chart. That we're already there. Here we go. I mean, now we're here we go with, here goes the crash stream, I guess, or at least another dump stream. Hop level as we started today, 98,230. We're about to tag it. We already dropped 1,000 since we started, guys. Okay, we're down 1,000 in the first 40 minutes of what we've been doing here, ripping through Bitcoin. I'm really spilling this out to let you guys know there is no harmonic buying opportunity at any level yet for this retracement. Short term scalping, sure. Longer term, like, hey, this is going to be the flash, the shakeout before the big run to 250K. Sorry, because I'm still hearing that. I'm still hearing, oh yeah, 200K, like Tom Lee, 200K at Bitcoin, 200K by the year end. Not a chance in hell. No way. If anything, I'm more focused on what are lower possibilities. 98 230 right now. Right now. And there's no confirmation anywhere that would suggest we're close to finishing this retrace. Okay, sure. We had a little pop just yesterday. We were 104 yesterday and smack it right back down. Other one. Okay. You know the daily scenario. And you guys know why about a month ago I shifted back to the 93K target one. That it's ugly, irregular. I even speculated, hey, this might be a breakout like right there at 124. Just back in August, I was like, okay, that looks like we could break out. And it was a shaken kind of throwdown fake out. And I was looking for the continuation from there, and it tagged it and then just rolled right over back down. So immediately I'm still sticking with 93K, and I have some other kind of immediate opportunities or immediate structures that suggest even lower for hitting some of these levels to satisfy where the patterns are. So 93 210, guys, is going to be my objective for this move now, and then we will see how deep that runs. Okay, do we flash even lower now? It's certainly not done. Okay, that's the Bitcoin story. Those are going to be the Bitcoin triggers. That monthly signal on the 50 level, like I said, is where then we got to look deeper. It's been fun. Okay, it's been a hell of a ride, but I just have to respect what the software is spitting out to me. Okay, we could do this all by hand, but not really likely. But I'm watching this, and then price action. What I think might happen if this bearish scenario is going to take hold, say now or next couple of weeks, is we'll break down and have a nasty follow through candle. Go back to the last cycle. Okay, again, it repeats more than it rhymes. But if we're in a similar spot, then it's kind of like being here, all right, or maybe even just there. You go back to last cycle, maybe it's December, January before the larger breakdown. What do you guys have for me? Uh, what do you guys want to look at? Because we see it in a lot of other metrics. We see it in other markets. We know the story on Ethereum. Okay, and Ethereum, I got concerns. Ethereum chart doesn't look great. We have been kind of waiting out this crab pattern from 47, looking for 35, and we did as we said, a bullish bat pattern. We bounced around a couple of times, but now breaking down the bullish pattern there's no confirmation, and that's a big aspect of the framework. Okay, if we have a reaction, which we do there, 35 to basically 4100, that's it. T1 went on. We come back down, hit the hop perfectly. T2. But the mandatory requirement is confirmation, some kind of HSI something, a dot. It's why we've done the signals the way that we've done them. Mark the chart, give me the T2, but the place where the pattern turns into a trade does not happen until we get some kind of confirmation. For Ethereum, it's not even close. If anything, it's just rolling over now. Where could it go? I think Ethereum, we violate the 3100 level. Just so you guys know, this T2 off of the prior crab at 2685 is likely. It's one of those pattern situations where type 2, type 1, target 2 because it's crypto. Okay? Am I crazy? I'm really trying to highlight the critical harmonic framework information. People do all kinds of different approaches to crypto trading. I have found that my best work, my best kind of clarity comes from simply reading confirmation strategies within type 1, type 2 harmonic patterns. I've been doing it for a long time. Served me well, and that's why we do these shows, these sessions. So we can look at a couple of those stocks. Yep. Apple looks crazy bullish according to Mr. Codes. I can look at that. Tesla, we know what Tesla is. Tesla's a big type 2. And I think a lot of these are simply type 2s that we have to kind of outline. For now, guys, just let it come in, let it fall. That goes for Bitcoin, NASDAQ. The other ones, I don't, I'm hard pressed to find constructive crypto at all that I would say, hey, here's something that might run. And I guess let's use FET AI as the prime example of something that has a lot of patterns, no confirmation. FET, just like a week ago, had this beautiful deep crab. And I wasn't too crazy about it just because of the price action, and we had just put in some confirmation. We basically had a 1 day, 3 day affair. We popped up, it was like almost a double, and then they threw it back down. And I don't know about you, but in terms of crypto, continuing to do this does not really bode well for looking for any kind of sizable opportunity that, hey, this, what it is really just like a penny stock, is worth your time and effort. There's FET AI all the way. It was a Gartley last year at $1, went to target 1, all the way back down. This Gartley looking left on the daily Coinbase is back at 20 cents. That's probably, if you know something about FET AI that is going to be some kind of huge winner, well, not until you're back down there, and not until you resolve this downtrend. A lot of signals getting, suppressed here. The trend is down. You're going back on close to 2 years, 20 months here, ever since the top in 2024, which is crazy because that was 350. And we were 20 cents to 350 and then all the way back down. That's what we call a pump and or dump, and that's most of crypto. One other one, Ethereum Classic, did the same thing. It was a couple of big pops, rolls back down. Ethereum Classic, like the rest of them, all they did in that big surge, and it was like a 1 day thing, was just get oversold quickly, roll back down. Guys, give me something. Let's take a look. I mean, what's up? Izal wants to look at XRP. We're there too on XRP. All of these, you're stuck here. 236. That's not as bad. But what's the last daily trigger? Overbought, coming back down. And then weekly, XRP. And I know guys that have got their life savings in this thing, and they're all in forever. And they might eventually be proven right. I mean, I know guys that were in at 30 cents, 50 cents. I caught a big move last year, basically 50 up to 270. But the larger follow through didn't transpire. Weekly, we're not even close to being oversold. If anything, since since topping out, what was that? Back in August, we've been trending under the 50 level. And that kind of move with the software, again, folks, is gives us kind of the insight of the internal strength. You're breaking the 50 level there. HSI, this is the top indicator, Harmonic Strength Index. It's designed to be early. That's why when we look at an overbought signal and then we get under the 50, the way to think about that is it has a lot more work to do, consolidation, before it could turn itself around. Kind of the last one I want to show you is Zcash, which we've marveled at it, but I basically said this was done at about 550 or so with weekly HSIs, big red candle. You got people out there calling for 10,000 Zcash, and really easy. If you're looking at Zcash at 5, 6, or 700, all you can think is, well, this guy told me it's going to 10,000, so it doesn't really matter where I buy it, is a hell of a way to get yourself into a hole. And I've done it on crap crypto, other kind of miscellaneous projects that are supposed to be the new thing. And sure enough, way to get caught. Zcash, I would say that's done for now because of HSI. Now, not until we get to the 50 level. Zcash on HSI, we're going to hit the 50 level. That would be a starting point, but we know that nothing goes up forever. Zcash was just an amazing move. I owned it early in the year and I threw it away. I was just kind of frustrated with a lot of crypto and held that for a long time. But now on the daily, we've got a lot of things here. HSI was checked back. That was 653. We got a dot 2 days ago officially. And the real resistance is 521 on Zcash. I know you haven't seen the larger breakdown just yet, but, again, take a look. We're oversold now, okay? But a lot of work has to happen before you would even consider that official. It's not official until it comes out of the zone. Definitely not the best spot if you were looking for a turnaround. If anything, a daily breakdown and you break yesterday's low, which was 424, I'd say the whole thing's done. I'd say you're 483, get yourself back to like 300 or 250 pretty quick. Okay, crypto is just, it trades differently, and most of it in the end turned out to be, as what Mitch Ray says, beanie babies. So come on in. What's going on, everybody? Great to see you. David, Doc, Echo, I'm just catching up. I had to do the riff for like 40 minutes, guys, because I always want to highlight the critical levels, be absolutely upfront of where I think things are going based on framework, based on kind of the signals that we have here in the software. And before I go any further, let's give away a 30-day package to the next person that types in HPC 30. Today we're going to give away 3. How about that? Okay, 3. And you guys can get that 30% off for the software. That's really, you want to learn what we do here. You want to support me, go buy the software. Okay, get the software. You get the software also for these major signals. So get that, get into the Discord, hit the link that I just put into the chat. And you guys, I'm always available. If you have a question, you can DM me in there. That's the best place. All right. Everybody else, you know what to do. What's going on? All right. Hey, Mr. Shada, Al Shada, you are the winner. You got to DM me your full name, username, TradingView username, and email address. It will set you up. I'll give away two more before we get out of here. I think we'll go to the top of the hour. Let me get a sip of coffee. Speaking of where we're at, Nasdaq's dropping, lows of the day down 540 now. 545. Good stuff. Good stuff. One or two more of the crypto space, and I do think we need to highlight some stocks and where the markets are. AVAX. AVAX, guys, is not. AVAX is trouble. AVAX is currently 16, but the bigger takeaway is the massive continuation breakdown. Like this thing, forget 16. There's nothing here. AVAX, I just think is another one where look at the big patterns. We had a deep crab from last year, okay, on the daily. And AVAX was one of those crypto, a lot of your favorite influencers were saying, yeah, that's going to go. AVAX is a safe bet. Well, where can it go? Where is the pattern, a real trade opportunity? Well, there's the T1, goes to target one. Not in the cleanest of ways, but you still got there. Printed a bat, type 1 down to target 2. And here we are, all the way ready to tag XA level 1499. And I'm going to say it's under 15 before I would even consider it. Let that T2 generate. This is a daily. And look at the indicators. You go back to October. Okay. We rolled over under the 50 level. And since we broke down, we have not been able to clear 50. All right. And that's still trending lower. And until that is to turn around, AVAX has got a lot of room to fall. We really are in a pickle, guys, as they used to say in the old days. Okay. Technically, we're just in a space, open space. Just nothing but air to kind of flash this down. And after the big flash crash, I mean, that flash candle, you went from 28 to 17 in a day. Something's coming, guys. I want to be in front of it for you. I want you to understand that if somebody's telling you to buy, there's not an opportunity here. We're not oversold yet. And hopefully, you guys can learn Harmonic Pattern Framework. You can make those decisions on your own. Look, I'm a believer like everyone else in the precepts of Bitcoin and what that means. But I'm always going to be at the right price. Bitcoin, it's got an edge on everything else. These other crypto, based on the chart, I would say you got a long way to fall. There's your AVAX chart. You go back years. Why don't we go back to 2023 at $8? Why not? There's nothing here to entice me. What's up, Lino? Man, you love that LCX. Lino likes LCX coin, and I don't like it. Okay, I just, look, they're like all of them. You have a lot of work to do, my man. That's a weekly. The daily chart down here. Yeah, got the pattern. But here, again, here's the thing. And we did this. Our strategy session went really well. Great feedback. A lot of people really appreciated the session because I think it filled in some gaps for what turns a harmonic pattern into a real opportunity. I mean, this is a great, massive pattern on LCX, but it completed in October. The first place we would even look at it was like 4 weeks later. And did we have like any internal readings that were getting above the 50? Not until recently. I mean, really the first time that even scratched the 50 was almost a month later. And then you're seeing a lot of this, guys. And the red arrow, that's HSI. Basically, think of it as harmonic oversold or overbought. Red arrow, overbought. Green arrow, oversold. We combine the pattern levels with that signal. You're going to 8 cents, man. 8.8 hop level. And you're just gonna have to retest the zone and get oversold until it's down until you get oversold is what I'm trying to say. It's another beanie snipe says, and I agree. Are they not? Are they not just about all beanies? In the end, or is that what we're going to say about 99% of these? Someone was asking for the graph. I think it was Lino too, and the graph is another beanie. And it's not that maybe there is something here. If we were put on the harmonic pattern framework, put on your harmonic pattern hat. Okay, if we understand there's a type 1 and a type 2 to all of this, where does graph go? And that was a big crash candle. And I'm surprised people they weren't, I was pretty freaked out by what happened there a month ago. Because technically it destroyed a lot of scenarios. Not to mention, within days, we were already rolling over again. You'll see this on most of your favorite Beanie Baby crypto. They did a type 1 reaction, whatever that was, not even tradable. Type 1 reaction, come on all the way back down. Until that happens with all of these, you just step back. No, thank you. NASDAQ really clipping it now. NASDAQ is dropping like a rock here. We'll get to that. Get that in a second. I mean, again, guys, let's just use the framework. Turn it all off. Describe to yourself what you see. Come into the market. Do we have a pattern? Do we have confirmation? Is it type 1, type 2? And just describe that to yourself. H bar. Okay, the name everybody thought was going to be the big explosive move of the cycle. What you got? What you got? You got nothing. You had a big move back in July. That was great. One off. Pump, dump. Come on back down. You're at 16.7. I think H bar is like a 13 to maybe as low as 11, 10-cent creature. Retest that crab pattern. Type 1, exceeded target 2, come all the way back down. And people talk, okay, H bar is going to do this and that. I don't care. Where's the pattern? Where's the confirmation? And in the end, when you got a lot of stuff like this, okay, big explosion move, comes all the way back, no progress, we're still in a downtrend. All right, you're not jumping in front of that. You're not trying to long this down here until we break out of the downtrend, the simple bear downtrend. How you feeling today after all of that? Great, me too. It's just I think people are, and myself included, not easy to just kind of bypass people like Michael Saylor telling you we're going to realize 1 million a Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin goes to 1 million someday, but not till we get another oversold reading where we can even entertain that idea now. Really quick, let's circle back. Where's Bitcoin now? Bitcoin 98.6, guys. How you feeling? Now we're down almost 2,000 in the last hour since we started it. Crash stream, maybe. That's the 98 level. We're here. There you go. We're down here. Hourly chart. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're failing left and right. All over the place. Guys, 93.2 is my number. 93.2. Let it go. Awesome. Nice, Pimple. Great to see you. Wayne, I don't know. No seller exhaustion. That's what I'm trying to say. We're not oversold. We're not even close to oversold. We got things brewing. And in that, again, the first step is 93. I didn't want to, I'm not trying to fully FUD on a 3% down day, although it was 1% when we started an hour ago. But I want to make you aware. Okay, the harmonic targets are lower. Generally, it's 93. then 84, and then we'll have a deeper discussion of possibilities. Right now, focus on 93K. Couple more. Let's jump to NASDAQ, S&P. What's going on? NQ. Down 560 at the moment. Where's it going? 575 currently. Hourly chart. Pretty interesting. Crab pattern retest. But like the rest of them, there's the T2 getting generated. But no confirmation. Are we oversold? Yeah. Deeply oversold. Deep. But we don't even think to get confirmation until that pops out. It'd have to go like that. I've been talking about, and I think the QQQ is probably the kind of the benchmark market to analyze, because we hit the big 1618 on QQQ, and this is another one like Bitcoin. We hit targets. What was the target? It was a 1618 off the April correction. And I know I posted this last week. And I'm gonna stick with this because we're really close to clinching that 1618 as the top end target for now. If we get a 1618, our harmonic objective, treat it as like a type 1 reaction, is a 38.2% retracement. That's how it works. That's 550, maybe 540. And I would take it down even to where I'm respecting this, okay, until we get oversold. And what's happening? Again, we read all markets the same. We're looking for patterns. We're looking for confirmation. And then we're monitoring like HSI sub 50 breakdown. It's a big deal, especially under 1 and 2. Because this kind of sets up, well, structurally, ooh, there was a big flush, another 40 down lower. But structurally, it's like this, guys. It's like an M formation, a BAM breakdown under that 50 point. And we'll take that all the way till we get oversold. Again, all of this is directed at you to highlight longer term kind of the evidence that has changed, the data that has changed to where we now have to embrace the retrace. Embrace the retrace. It's natural market mechanics. I was saying this last week. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks. We achieved our targets. It's not like we can just go on forever. And it might take a bar, 2, 3 to 5 weeks to make the full assessment, but we hit the 1618. We could not follow through. 1618 was 630 just 10 days ago. Now we're 606. I think quickly we crack under that 598, 600 level, then people are going to say, all right, we're probably need to do more. I'm telling you now, we're going to do more. Let's look at a few of those stocks you guys wanted to get at. Meta. Meta's like this. We looked at Meta a while back of what was the breakdown here, and it's a daily pattern. And that's down at like 560. Okay, you got a couple of patterns here on Meta, which is like 570. Not to mention Hop 575 off of the shark. Do we have any dot here? Any confirmation? Not yet. A lot of these are lining up where, hey, I'll look at Meta down here between 575, 570, maybe as low as 522, but it's not here. It's not at 600. What's up, Snipes? Snipes wants to look at Tesla. Tesla, we know Tesla. Look at that. Tesla is the weekly. Well, that was a type 2. And look at what we got. Look at what we got here, right? Dot diamond, check back, dot official this week. We've been mulling over this type 2. 444 was the XA level. And then I just say now, today it's in the bag. Type 1, type 2, reaction. That was first part of the year. Come back for the return. Now we're in type 2 mode. Type 2 target 2. Type 2 target 2. That's how we look at it. Okay, let that thing come in. Yeah, you're filling some gaps. Yeah, you might bounce along the way. Guys, that's textbook material right there. And I'm still, how can you not be long-term bullish on Tesla? But at what price? The right price. What's the right price for Tesla? It's not up here at a type 2 at 444. It entered the zone back in September in strong fashion. Clip 444 could not get through. Today's a big 3-bar, 5-bar breakdown day on the weekly. But that's, is what it is. What's up, Cody? AAL? Is that American Airlines? Sure is. I'm not a big fan of airlines. You got patterns here, but you could be down here for a while. Maybe the opportunity it's certainly back at XA level 1239, but like a lot of crypto, what's the trend? The trend is way down. I mean, you have to be patient. Even if we took off all harmonic patterns, we knew nothing about harmonic patterns. Maybe this is the first attempt to cross above the downtrend, but it's not there. Give it time. It's okay for me. It's okay. Let me highlight. Okay, what's the thing to really look for? Like if you knew about something about American Airlines, or you just, hey, I know they're going to be kicking ass in the next year or so. What's the signal? The signal is getting our indicators pointing in the right direction. You're above the 50 there, but 3 weeks ago you rolled over. You'd have to get that rolling back up. I think this just is going to be an extended retest. Let it come to you. If you miss it, you're here at 13 bucks. XA level 1239 is a minimum point I would look at. You got to be patient. Let that happen. Not too crazy about it. Couple others. What do you guys have for me? Let me scroll back. I've been really ripping. You guys, I see somebody put up a Doge. Solana, you guys know how I feel about Solana. Solana's a 105 candidate. A couple others. Circle, what happened there? Circle 83. It's an all-time 886 reset, which is really since the breakdown. I think it was back here. We started breaking down at 160, 150. This is doing the classic IPO pattern. You have an IPO mania, surges up, 886 reset, which was literally hit today. Maybe it was it yesterday. 886 is there. Any oversold? Anything? No. Let it go. Let it go. Until that can give us something. Yeah, look, weekly still trending lower. Daily, anything on the daily? I mean, just there's nothing there. No, and this is, again, really, I think you want to do harmonic patterns. You want to do harmonic measures and understand from that framework directionally where the market's headed. A lot like just simple downtrend. If your primary relative strength indicator is trending lower, expanding, oversold, you just let that fall. There's no opportunity there. Heck, where's the opportunity, guys? What should we be looking at? because not a lot at the moment. I'm sure things will come in and develop, but we have to basically let it come in across the board. Someone said Apple earlier, and I'm gonna have to kind of argue a little bit here. Yeah, we're up there, almost all-time new highs, but what's the pattern? What do we have up here? Big bat, almost an alternate bat, but look, here's the zone. It's an 886 retest, and then just recently we had the new overbought signal, and that was what, back on the 31st. Hop levels 273. Where we are now, we're not getting through it. Look, if you wanted to get long Apple, wait for the next oversold signal like that was. Okay? Or back here. There. For now, we're just in a reaction down against a pretty big pattern. Weekly, meh. I mean, the long-term chart's great, but we're probably at the top end of the channel where we need to kind of let some air out, like come down within this channel. And that channel, it really looks like this. You go back a few years, tell me what it looks like now. We're overbought, guys. You got to cool your heels. When you're extended like that, that's not a buy opportunity. You're looking for the retrace. Embrace the retrace. Couple more. Russell. Yeah, you guys brought the Russell up last time, and I didn't get to it, but now I will, because look, the Russell's a big bat pattern, type 2. We got the dot. Again, there's no other harmonic pattern program that's going to give you this. We got the dot 2 weeks ago on the Russell. How do we know it's more than a reaction? Well, we did the type 1 already. There was the perfect bat pattern, XA to T1. But where was the confirmation? All the way down at T2. We finished the return move, and now we are confirmed overbought again. Don't fight it, guys. Listen, you might need to go through a cycle or maybe even two on these longer term positions to really get it into your bones. Understanding what the type 2 means. The software kicks it out. Check out the zone. Okay? We know that that's a big deal. We know that the fact that it formed a bat pattern, software is kicking it out. We're testing the all-time high with a big fat bearish pattern. Not only that, it now does a type 1, and now there's the 2 with confirmation. Look at the zone. Weekly chart, no less. Okay? Here's where the pattern completes. Right there, 235. Where's the confirmation? Several weeks later, up here for the first time. 243, 245. Max objective, 256. But that dot pretty much sealed the deal. Now you're breaking down. You take out the low. Let's say tomorrow's ugly. And you close under 236. That would seal it. I mean, I'd be shooting 211 immediately. It's happening pretty quickly, folks. Hate to say it. It was a lot of fun, man. I mean, really, this year, we were looking for that early retrace, January, February. It went deeper than we thought. We were looking for the return move. We hit targets. We hit our targets. And so if you're going to do it on the long side, you got to do it on the short side. Respect the levels. Respect the confirmation. That's where we are. And I want to be way in front of it for you. Couple more. What's up, Kitten Mittens? Rivian. Okay. Rivian's another one. Big breakout, right? Not so fast. I will be looking at Rivian, but on the next oversold. Down 121 today at 16. Now this is something where, okay, a little bit different. Finally breaking out of some of this downtrend, but there's my drawing from weeks ago. Looking for trending markets that are doing this. Rivian not quite doing that. I don't disagree, and a few of you are long this already, but not until we can break out and trigger an oversold level on the daily, and we're not there. Rivian was this bunch of patterns looking left. We didn't do the big breakout. Maybe we come back. Your main levels are like 14, maybe as low as 11, guys. It's not 16. It's not 16. So, take that for what it is. It's done for now. Bye for now, as they say. A couple others. What about, what's up, Wayne? Wants to look at Solar Edge, BBI, BBAI, AVBP. Yeah, what Solar Edge? That was a breakout move. That was 45, and then smack it back down. What happened there? I think. Look, I like tan. I've told you guys this. I love this pattern in Solar Edge. Okay, it's a big structure. Another nice situation. I think this was a monthly chart. We were looking at this like that, where yeah, the pattern completed at 73 because it's a bat, but the confirmation at your dots, that was 13. Did a hell of a move. But I'm more a fan of tan. Okay, all right, gotten smacked down, not too bad. I still say we're in a type 1 on that. Give it time, like a 4-hour time frame. You got anything yet? Not yet. 4-hour. Give us an oversold on the 4-hour, please. Tan, that's the solar ETF. That's probably the best play of these. And we looked at a bunch of them last time. They all had moved quite a bit. Let it come in. Let it come back. Yeah, a couple more. RCAT. What's up, AC? What is RCAT? Red Cat. We looked at that last time, right? We looked at Red Cat. And what was that? That's a 4-hour chart. Wasn't this a daily thing? Yeah, okay. I know we looked at this last time. It's this. It's this target 2. Your dots down here at like 8. You got some prior patterns more like it's back here, man. It's like 7. It's 550, 697 ish. Is not there quite yet. And yeah, again, look at our. Now I remember. This is what we're looking at. Okay, we're still down. I don't take these off, especially with the stocks. You come back to that, and again, this I remember what I was saying here. These are all trending lower, trending lower. So simplify it. In my opinion, that's one of the easier ways to look at things. That if you're just monitoring your indicator and it's sub 50 trending lower, it's not a long. It's not a long opportunity. What's up, Thales? Riot, did it check all the way back? Yeah, look at that, guys. Came all the way back. Came all the way back there. Riot, I know I was saying that let's look at this. This was on the daily, I guess. And they overran it. We're having trouble at 19. Yeah, target not 1. 1277. And not until. Not until. I'll tell you what, something's got to be up. Something's lurking in the background that changed really since, I think, the last Fed meeting, where I guess rates are backing up again. I'll have to look at that in a second. But since that last Fed meeting, market got news it did not like. A couple more. I've got a peek at gold. What's going on? You got it, AC. Nico wants to look at Wolf, the Terra Wolf, right? Yeah, I'd be careful on these. Look at those oversold ratings. Multiple. TerraWolf, amazing. 2 to 16. And this is in that space where, look, as quickly as these have run up, I would be really cautious. Like if you're in that, today's a massive breakdown day, and that's it for now. I mean, I would be looking for this TerraWolf sub $10 pretty soon. Nothing there. Hate to say it, but there's just nothing there that would get me interested. Not yet. 4 hour chart, there's just nothing there. Pattern, no, that's a bat on the 4 hour, but no confirmation, and that's why we do confirmation. Okay, there's the pattern. We've seen this on long-term charts, same on the 4 hour. The pattern completed there. The trade is down here if we get the confirmation. It's not there yet. You're in at 115. Where are you going to sell, Nico? Like, great trade, my man. I mean, if you're really in at 115, what's the objective? Like, how much do you need? You were 10x at 15. Okay, are we thinking it's going to go to 100? Just to get you to think. I mean, congratulations if you're there. That was one of the greatest scoops going back to April, I guess, but or even lower because I guess you've been in that for a while. As a trader, I have trouble uh, letting things develop that long where I'm okay. Like something goes from 17 to 11, I'm probably going to beat myself up for a while. It's just how I roll. I mean, I would trade that more so than what have you, than just trying to hold that. Careful because under 1043, you've got issues. And what's the obvious? Like go back and gap fill. That's the problem with these crypto creatures. They have proven themselves to be not sustainable. Yeah, that's good. You only have what? Tamir. I'm sorry to hear that. Uh, my man, I was really clear on what the Bitcoin situation is. And again, it happens. But protect that last 30%. Okay? Don't let it go full return on you, is all I can say. What's going on? Mishari, welcome to the chat. He's saying there's a bat pattern in NVIDIA. I'm going to argue there. And I said this on NVIDIA that, look, love NVIDIA. Okay? Amazing, amazing run to $5 trillion market cap. But what were the targets all along? The targets were 1618, 1902. 1618 off of the correction from April. And I repeat myself because this 1618 relationship, it's pretty much the primary harmonic move that you will see in the markets. All time 1618 was like right there at 195 ish. Okay. Then we went down. I'm going to leave the 382 there, even though we didn't get to the 382. And then the 1902 was right there, like 214, 213 ish. This is your larger zone for NVIDIA. Okay. I'm going to say that NVIDIA is done for now. And NVIDIA's got to pull in this 382. The all-time 382 is like 150. There you go. 153, 154. You're 184. But I'm looking for that now on NVIDIA. Why? Weekly targets have been hit, kids. We got to respect it. The other thing, We've been cracking the 50 for a while on Nvidia. I'm watching this like NASDAQ, Bitcoin, all of it. Nvidia cracks under the 50 on the weekly chart. Okay, that would start the larger kind of follow through drawdown in earnest. Yeah, it's a lot like Palantir. Palantir, greatest stock ever, right? Until Michael Berry decided to short it. Palantir has hit the 50 level, guys. So this is going to be something we're going to follow closely. And this is exactly what I've been saying with all of these. Palantir scratching your 50 line today, down 12. Is there an opportunity to get long? Not at these levels. Not till we fully get oversold. And I don't know what was that drawdown move? 130. It was, well, we got some oversold signals, kind of like same like Nvidia back at 155. Yeah, and we cracked the 50 level on the daily too. Guys, there's no opportunities here. All right, maybe back in August, September, we had some opportunities. Not now. Not now. We're not there yet. Be aware of that. This is how, personally, I use harmonic pattern framework with the indicators to gauge how far anything can go. And even though it looks like we've done damage, I don't think we've even started it yet. The whole argument shifted 4 weeks ago. Maybe even better 2 weeks ago. But this follow through, doing what it's doing, you got to let this all get oversold, and those are lower levels. Yeah. Thank you, King. I appreciate that. Floyd, what's going on? Wants to look at Cisco. That hit a 1618. Well, let's do it. Let's look at it. Listen, we go through these charts, but the analysis is the same, guys. The levels, the confirmation, the way that we focus in on all of that is the same. Now here's Cisco. Software does it? That's not a 1618. Maybe, but that's a massive butterfly. Software, guys, this is why you get the software. Okay? Kicking out a massive bearish pattern. That's flashing warning sign. No confirmation yet, but the 1618, it must have hit exactly. Look at that. Now that's, let me see if I can tighten that up. The 1618 for Cisco, if it's not, it's definitely damn close. I think it's more, yeah, it's just shy, but it's not a 1618 because of the type of W structure. And that matters. Listen, people were doing XABCD and Elliott Wave and other analysis long before me. But why harmonic patterns? What was the breakthrough? The B point with the other metrics. So if you have an X, an A, and a B, C, D to get you a W, where the B point hits matters. That was at a 786. 786 spells you to a 127 extension. 786, reciprocal of the 127. That's why it's a butterfly. And there's other measurements. There's an ABCD, a 1618. All of that is important. But for now, I'd be looking at the 75 level as top end resistance. And again, it's not like, hey, I think the bear market starts exactly here, but more so think of it like this. Massive bearish zone. We have to digest this, okay, to resolve the, kind of the rally that we have seen, especially in the last 6 months. And we're going to go through a digestion phase, if you will, consolidation phase before we go higher. NASDAQ down 585 now at 2540, 25,040. But that's just a number. That's just a number. How about let's do a couple more? Let's get out of here. Um, Gold, silver, yes. What's going on, Doc? Um, Andrew wants to look at MicroStrategy. Okay. Andrew, before I go to gold and silver, I'll look at your MicroStrategy. And I've had concerns about MicroStrategy, the lack of confirmation. We had a beautiful pattern, really was nice, but the pattern was not a trade opportunity. We did the type 1, all right? Way back here, type 1 to target 1. Done. Spit it back down. Looking for confirmation in that area, it never materialized. That's a failure, kids. Strategies failed. You have failed, strategy. What are the possibilities here? Give me a big M formation. And where is that? We got to dial it back big time. Go off of, let's say, last July low. What can we possibly draw here on MicroStrategy? Right off the top, X, A, B, C, and then where's the D? Your B point's at a 75. That's not going to work. We're going to have to get that B point at a minimum. It's either a 618 or a 50, so we're going to have to go further back. I think it's like that. If it is a 618, which that B point, you go off of the 2022 low. The only possibility is 786, and that's a lot lower. That is a lot lower. It's not 210, guys. I mean, that's 786 is 130. Shit's happening fast. This could be one of those times. And I have been saying for a while that I thought early January, like first week of January, they would have a lot of tax loss. They would have a lot of profit taking from this year. But now it looks like people, I think, are going to want to grab it. They're going to want to get out. They're going to get what they can take now and deal with it later. Not in January, but now, Thanksgiving, Christmas. This is a freaking antithesis to a year ago. But that's how it goes. Patterns have been saying that, though. Again, for the last month, most of you folks that have been here with me for a while, you know how I was back in October. And I something where you just kind of have to suck it up and just say, look, market changed. Got to embrace the retrace. Couple more. USAS. United States silver. All right, look, silver, gold, they're the panic trade. They've done amazing things. I'll get to silver in a second. It's a big flip. Big retrace today. Something like this, again, I cannot offer you anything because you go from 50 cents to $5, you're 10x. You got a bunch of overbought signals here. You just step back. Step back. Let it come to you. Gold market was up, nice rebound. Okay, now it was up almost 100. Now you're down 60. We're watching this area, guys. This is the big 3618. And I'm really thinking on gold. Did gold hit its targets, guys? And are we done with gold? Are we done with gold for now to where we get this kind of liquidity event of needing to do the retrace, which is, that's not it. Where's the all-time 3618? I thought, oh, it's back here. Sorry. The big cycle retrace. We have two of them, but this has been our top end target. This all fits within the harmonic framework. We've been talking 1618, and then once we busted it, we've been looking 2618 off of that, which was 4150, and that's the number to focus on. 4150. Are we going to get a bigger retrace? Possibly. I would really be watching that. And gold will set up another opportunity. In terms of price, we're certainly overbought. Indicators, yeah, I think for the first time, like, was about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we registered this overbought inflection. And now, let's see if we roll over it further. The daily chart was like this on GC. We had some daily, what I call counter bullish signals that sent it back up. Let's see if it wants to retrace more. This recovery move, that might be it for now. And that's more based on the weekly. It looked good. I mean, and I think longer term, after this move, gold will continue to go higher. But I'm going to basically put the fork in it now. I'm going to stick with 4150. If I'm proven wrong, so be it. But 4150 for me is like, I'm good. I'm good there. If I get a bullish pattern or something that's obvious, then I'll go with it. But until then, no thanks. Patient with it. And that's like silver too. Silver just finished a freaky move. We were all-time highs earlier today. Amazing. Silver is still this. Go to the monthly chart. We're at here at the all-time 886. Exactly. I mean, exactly. On the continuous futures chart, silver's getting rejected at 53.60. That's a major deal, guys. That's how you know. We can project, you have a W formation that's a bat, and you're retesting the beautiful 886 number. Okay? What does it have to do to resolve that? I would think 236 or 382. We haven't really hit it yet. Even a 236 is like $45. We almost got down there last time. I'm thinking a lot of these targets are getting kind of spit back in our face where we don't want to ignore them. These are the targets we waited for all along. Look, there's the bat pattern. I know we've talked about that. In the same way we were respecting this bat. Look, we have the XABCD configuration that says that's it for now. So a lot of these miners, a lot of these hot stocks, we got to be patient with them. And I say that as NASDAQ rolling down almost new lows of the day, guys. We got to be targeting NQ lower. Let's circle back. We started with Bitcoin. We ripped it a new one, right? Just let's get real. Let's talk about what's going on. 98,600. Not to scare anybody, but I have told you what my signal is for the end of the cycle. And that will be an amplified break of the 50 mark. We will get here. Okay? Maybe it's later this month. Maybe it's in December. But that is going to be the ultimate signal for me to say, okay, we've done it. We're good for now. And then we would take it in chunks. I'm still, immediate level for me, 93,000, 93.2. Deeper levels, yeah, they're there. Let's not even talk about them until we get to 93. But I've been really clear on what the harmonic framework's all about. I meant to give away one more package. Let's do one more software. Next person to type in HPC 30 will get you a 30-day free trial. And if you want to come into the gold for Discord, that's good too. Everybody else, look, Black Friday special now for the software. Use the code HPC30 on any and all of these 30% off, and then we give you gold membership until next year, until January. You have any questions, you can DM me over there on the Discord. Hit it up here, go there on the Discord. You have any questions, again, get over to me there. Who's that? Mr. 6IGP, you are the winner. And everyone else, look, you can get a free 2-week trial. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. If you get the software, that includes the profiler as well, although that's only available on the TradingView platform. Start with the free trial. Get with the materials, go through it for a week or two, get your feet wet. If you have questions, hit me up on the Discord. All right, folks, that's what I have for today. Again, thanks so much. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hit the like, subscribe on the way out, get the notifications. Until then, have a great weekend. Hold on, let's see what that brings. And until Tuesday, as always, go get 'em.